Program do not necessarily reflect those of the advertisers, owners, or management of Pacific Telestations LLC. For comments, opinions, and questions, please email Jess Lujan at jessthebuzz@gmail.com. The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Interesting topic tonight. I've got, again, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. in studio. Coming back, a bill that he recently introduced, 363-33 COR, known as the Community Equal Access to Affordable Renewable Energy Act of 2016. Good evening, Senator. How you doing?
Good evening.
How you
Thank
doing?
you.
Good. So you introduced this bill. You know, it's ironic. About a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I had two individuals in studio talking about, of course, renewable energy. Two experts on the field of renewable, and we touched on net metering, virtual net metering, and they knew a little about what's happening, and this I think is a trend. I mean, I brought it up because I honed in and looked at, you know, renewable energy, solar energy, and what the trend was in other jurisdictions, and you introduced the bill.
That's right. That's right. You know, I thank you again for the opportunity to be here. You know, earlier in the term, I was working with a bunch of stakeholders who were apartment residents and people who live in apartments and condominiums, and you know, they were feeling that their rate being charged by GPA as a commercial customer wasn't fair because they are residents in their home. Sure, maybe the facilities are commercial because they're leasing a space there, but then we introduced a bill. It's still going through the process. But then when we took a look at virtual net metering, similar to what I have just introduced now, it gives the opportunity for anyone, whether, you know, regardless of where you stay, if you stay in an apartment, in a condominium, or if you stay in a home, and but the way it's built, where you're at, you don't have,
you don't avail yourself of it.
You don't have the proper sun to come in to really function a solar system.
And you don't have the real estate. You don't have the rooftop.
That's right. Or the real estate. Then you're still able to number one, contribute back to our environment, and number two, be able to save on your energy by using solar energy.
And this is one of the things I discussed with the two gentlemen experts that were in here is basically the way we have it now for, I guess, solar subscribers. Okay. It's virtually a discriminatory practice at this point, because if people, again, like you said, if they're apartment dwellers, condominium, I mean, if you may own the unit, but you don't own the whole building, you have to get the homeowners association to agree, or if you don't have the real estate, the rooftop or whatever, you really can't avail yourself to solar power. So how exactly does virtual net metering work? Because I know there's a situation, GPA I think recently had a hearing in regards to net metering where it's kind of caused situations with them causing, again, more problems against net metering versus virtual net metering.
Well, I know that the GPA is doing what the law told them to do. Because once you hit the 1,000 benchmark, that threshold of net metering customers, then you take a look and see whether what the course of action is moving forward, whether you're going to end it or not. And so they're having that discussion now. It seems that the recommendation from their consultant is to end net metering, which is really backwards, a backwards way of doing things, right? Is that with this virtual net metering, we're kind of actually expanding the the use of individual ratepayers on using solar energy. I talked about the residents in condominiums or in apartments, but also government buildings. We looked at the Gama Memorial Hospital. We know how every which way we try to find ways to save money there or bring more money into the hospital. and some in discussion with stakeholders and experts that the estimate is about the hospital can save about $1 million a year if they are on some sort of solar program. I know they've started some small program now. I don't believe it's started already, but they're.
Well, I don't think they even have the real estate that's enough for that.
Yeah,
I mean, in totality.
Yeah, but now they're doing it on a small scale. But if you do on a bigger scale, then the estimate is about $1 million that you can save a year in power.
Yeah.
And so that's really what the whole intent of this measure is to provide the ratepayers the opportunity to save on their power bills, at the same time be able to contribute back to our environment.
When we go to, say, government buildings, like yourself, you're renting an office. It's a government office, but it's not a government building.
That's right.
So unless your landlord put solar panels on there, you can't avail yourself right now to solar power. But in this sense, virtual net metering, I can be renting an office. I can be renting a home, renting an apartment, and I can avail myself to again virtual net metering. Now that's similar to like again a company. Say it's my company. I go out and put solar panels here. I've got X amount of acres I can put it on. Okay, so I sell that power to GPA. So basically, if I'm producing 10 megawatts, whatever it may be, okay? And so based on that, I say your office is using your 1 megawatt, whatever, okay? We just make it simple, okay? I mean, we're talking engineering terms now, and the engineers are gonna say, what are you guys talking about, right? So anyway, so you're using 1. So when I come to 10, I sell no more. I have to look for other real estate.
That's right.
So in this sense, then, you're only gonna be paying for power that you're using versus net metering at this point in the end of the year, power that you didn't use, that you sold
pays you back.
GPA pays you back. So basically, this is kind of like, this is fair to you and fair to GPA.
Absolutely.
Only what you use, you pay for, and GPA doesn't have to pay you back anything that you didn't use.
Absolutely, I think it's a win-win for both the ratepayers, the industry, and also GPA. And even it made me understand that even more when I attended the public hearing that GPA had, and on net metering with their consultants there, because we have the industry that's really putting on the table what the value of solar is, right? And there is true value to solar. You have you have GPA, that's kind of saying yes, they understand there's value, but there's costs associated with it. And so what really needs to happen is that is for both parties to come down, sit down, and really find that medium there, because this solar energy, renewables is the way that we should be we should be going. We should be expanding it and not limiting what the sun and solar can do for us.
Yeah. Now again, there's a lot of times where bills are introduced that are criticized, of course, by the industry experts or even whatever the agencies that have to oversee these. I would assume at this point that you have worked with some experts to put these together and how this can be again available to Guam.
Absolutely. We've worked with a lot of the stakeholders, people in the industry here. Part of the bill also requires that once this is established, is that a panel is set up to determine this virtual net metering, the tariff, right? So a panel would be consistent of an industry expert. It would be consistent of an individual from GPA, and also an individual from the Center for Island Sustainability over the University of Guam. Because so you'll have a perfect group of individuals that understand power, understand the industry, understand the environment, and how we need to lessen our footprint on dangerous materials, on how we can have that happy medium and be able to move this forward. So it brings the people together, and also expands. The bill also expands our threshold, our goal on renewables, on using renewables for our power supplies.
No, I think this also helps out because if I'm not mistaken, Senator, with this as well, that the military, I don't know if they can fulfill this because remember they partner with GPA and GPA was supposed to provide their power. There was I forget what years that they're supposed, a certain percentage of their power is supposed to come from solar
Renewable,
power as well. I don't know if they'll be able to meet that or fulfill that by a certain year, but that's again, Congress, has pushed towards that. So this probably would help in having them attain that as well. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because and that's what I've said during that public hearing when I was asked, is that is what I'm trying to do here in increasing our goal of having renewables and solar as part of our power distribution. Is that realistic? And I said, absolutely, if we have a program like this in place, because now you would have individuals that don't have the ability to have solar on their roofs now be able to still use it when you have an entity that has a solar farm that you can tap into now.
Okay, I got to pay some bills. When we come back, let's talk in more understandable terms. Sure. So the average person who says, well, wait a minute, they're onto something, but let me understand that even more, okay? Because I'm trying to understand it even more. Be right back.
Thank you.